This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV for Friday, February 23rd, 2024. I'm Derek Gilbert with our Friday 5, the 5 things you need to know going into the weekend. Topic number 5 this week, Russia and Ukraine. Things going on in Eastern Europe. A high-ranking Russian officer, we told you this week, claims NATO troops are directly manning and overseeing Ukraine's high-end advanced anti-aircraft systems, which, of course, were provided by the United States and NATO. Kremlin also claiming that French mercenaries are posted in the city of Kharkiv, Ukraine, which is just across the border from the Russian city of Belgorod, which has been an area subjected to rocket and mortar attacks. Meanwhile, Ukraine made a change recently at the top of its military. We didn't mention this because there were conflicting stories and rumors that were floating about as to what was going on here. General Valery Zaluzhny was replaced a couple of weeks ago by Colonel General Alexander Syrsky, who was previously commander of Ukraine's ground forces. One of Syrsky's first decisions, as we told you this week, was ordering the withdrawal from the eastern city of Avdiivka, which has been used since 2014 to shell the city of Donetsk, which is the capital city of Donetsk Oblast, one of the two regions in the east, Donetsk and Luhansk, that voted to secede from Ukraine after 2014 and since then annexed by Russia. Now, it's not clear why Zelensky fired Zaluzhny, but it probably had a lot to do with the fact that Zaluzhny said the war had reached a stalemate in an interview and a long essay in Economist magazine back in November. Now, against all of this backdrop is the sudden death last Friday of Russian dissident Alexei Navalny, who's being depicted as the main threat to Vladimir Putin's power base, and that he was tortured to death. That was the words of columnist Jonah Goldberg by the Putin regime. Again, you just have to ask who benefits here. He was in a prison camp above the Arctic Circle in Siberia. He'd been basically forgotten by the West. Why would this happen right now, especially when this conference called the Munich Security Conference was going on, at which Mrs. Navalny, or Yulia Navalnaya, actually, was present? Why was she at this security conference with all of these high-ranking Western officials? I hate to be so cynical, but it just smells like something that was choreographed, and I don't see how Putin benefits by making Navalny a martyr. Now, having said that, I'm not naive enough to think that Putin wouldn't resort to such tactics. It is not a coincidence that all of Putin's main critics in recent years have wound up either imprisoned or dead. Topic number 4, Palestine. There will be no Palestine, Israel says, without Israeli consent. Last Sunday, Israel's cabinet voted unanimously to pass a resolution rejecting any effort by the international community to impose a Palestinian state on Israel. This, of course, was problematic even before October 7th. Meanwhile, Egyptian officials this week announced that they're building an 8-square-mile enclosure, essentially a walled armed camp, guarded camp, I should say, to handle refugees pouring across the border into the Sinai Desert from the southern city of Rafah, which is now besieged by Israel's military, the IDF going after the 3 Hamas battalions believed to be hiding inside that southern city in the Gaza Strip. This camp that Egypt is constructing, they hope will be limited to 50,000 to 60,000 refugees, but they are anticipating as many as 100,000 may come across the border as Israel's attack continues. Topic number 3, the border. Here in the United States, the border is a lot farther north than you and I believed. We're seeing evidence of this in what's going on in New York City, Chicago, and other major metropolitan areas. This week, Homeland Security belatedly took custody of 2 Venezuelan migrants believed to have taken part in the mob attack on police officers in Times Square. It's a still image from a security camera on the screen behind me there. Kelvin Servita Arocha, 19 years old, and 21-year-old Wilson Omar Juarez Aguilarte, arrested by U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement on Tuesday. They're believed to be part of that gang I talked about the other day, Tren de Aragua, or the Araguan Train, a hyper-violent Venezuelan criminal gang that's only about 10 years old, believed responsible for a series of cell phone thefts in New York City. They steal a phone from somebody who's using it, not paying attention to their surroundings, keep it unlocked, they drain the bank account, use the credit cards, send the phone to Colombia where it's wiped and then resold. They are not above using violence. In fact, that is one of their trademarks, going into a territory controlled by another gang and shooting prostitutes working for that rival gang, posting it to social media to make their point. And Tren de Aragua using President Biden's open border policies to send thousands of gang members into the wealthy United States to plunder and send that wealth back to South America. Clearly, these young men have no fear of deportation and obviously no fear of law enforcement in general. The border is now well above Mexico. Topic number 2, sacrificing our children. Those who survive the womb are sadly being sacrificed on the altar of political correctness, or the ancient Sumerian goddess Inanna, also known as Ishtar or Astarte or Aphrodite or Venus. She's not the goddess of love as we've been taught. No, she is a gender fluid deity of carnality and violence. A respected neuropsychologist this week who published a peer-reviewed study finding that puberty blockers can harm children's IQs found pushback from the scientific community that she didn't expect. She was not slanting her study. She was trying to find out what the long-term effects of these puberty blockers are, and found that in girls who take these, it appears to reduce their IQ by 7 to 15 points. That is considerable. An IQ of 100 is considered average. You drop to 85, and suddenly you are really at a disadvantage in trying to function in society. And yet, when she published the results of her study, she was being accused of traumatizing transgenders. Apparently, that is considered a greater harm than actually harming the cognitive development of young people. While this is going on, we also learned this week that the University of Sussex Hospitals National Health System Trust, National Health System Trust, based out of the University of Sussex in England, released guidance suggesting that so-called chest milk produced by men under the influence of powerful artificial hormones is an acceptable substitute. It is perfectly fine, or probably fine. We think it's fine. We haven't tested it, but it's probably fine for babies. Now, this is despite the fact that the powerful artificial hormones used to fool a male body and into producing a liquid substance from the chest come with warnings from the Food and Drug Administration and the manufacturer itself that the drugs are associated with severe cardiac adverse events that can be then passed on to the child nursing from this chest milk. But again, the fear of stigmatizing transgenders is much worse than the possibility you might be passing along a damaged heart to an infant. Coming up, Satan at the Super Bowl. Not really a surprise, but the media's reaction, eye-opening. That's next on the Friday Five.
Well, let me take this occasion right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to make sure you know how you can get your copy of this incredible new book in the Blood Alliance special offer. This amazing opportunity includes the brand new book, Blood Alliance, the attack on Yeshua's threshold covenant and its impact on you in the midst of our prophetic times, by best-selling author Messianic Rabbi Zev Porat, that details the current-day diabolical influence of the biblically identified Chaldean spirit, the false, counterfeit threshold covenants Lucifer is planning to use to deceive millions of Christians in the days ahead. What the Old and New Testament has to say about the temple on the Temple Mount, what the Sabbath really is, and how the threshold covenant brings it to life. But we're just getting started. This must-have collection also includes Zev Porat's all-time best-selling book, Unmasking the Chaldean Spirit, which details his stunning supernatural conversion from a deeply Orthodox Jewish man to faith in Jesus Christ as Messiah, as he faced literal demonic manifestations. temptations of great wealth to denounce his faith in Yeshua, yet through it all he pressed on with a glowing zeal for the Word of God and the people of Israel. But that's not all. This unbelievable collection also includes best-selling author Carl Gallup's book, The Rabbi, The Secret Message and the Identity of Messiah, which reveals how Israel's most venerated Orthodox rabbi, Yitzhak Kaduri, came face to face with the true Messiah and said that it was Jesus, all while efforts by global media and powerful elites to cover up this broad sweeping, stunning revelation totally collapsed. Sold separately, these items hold a retail value of $60. Yours now for your donation of only $35 plus shipping and handling. So act quickly. You can scan the QR code on your screen using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special opportunity right now, but it's available only while supplies last, so don't delay. Visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Blood Alliance special offer.
Item number one today, if you watched the Super Bowl, you may have seen some of the flap after the game regarding a friend of Taylor Swift's. It was in the box with Taylor Swift, a young lady, rapper going by the name of Ice Spice. The NFL tweeted out a link to the video showing her in the box with Ms. Swift. Ms. Spice, there you can see doing something with her hands that looks an awful lot like devil's horns. And she's wearing an inverted cross, which is a very sacrilegious symbol. Well, the corporate media immediately jumped to the defense of Ms. Spice. Alleged fact-checking website Snopes and the entertainment news site TMZ both ran stories pushing back on responses from concerned parents and Christians over this viral video. According to TMZ, a hand gesture she made at one point, Quiet Coyote, that's the name of the hand gesture, certainly didn't help with the unholy accusations. Quiet Coyote, apparently a hand signal that has become popular over the last 3 years or so, ostensibly used by school teachers to get children to quiet down. Quiet Coyote. Apparently you take your middle two fingers here, touch your thumb, leaving your first finger and pinky finger extended, and there you have Quiet Coyote. Now, why that has become popular the last 3 years, not sure. Apparently, it was featured in the Disney animated film called Soul in 2020. I've not seen the film. It deals with a jazz musician who has an accident. His soul is separated from his body. He's got to get back to his body in time for his big break at the jazz club. I'm not sure where Quiet Coyote fits into all of that. Frankly, I think this is all covered to cover up the fact that the young lady wearing the inverted cross was doing something. Wasn't just making the hand signal. There was some gesture involved there as well. It makes no sense. I mean, if you want to tell kids in class to be quiet, how about this? Oh, wait, that's occultic too. And in a stadium of 80,000 people, she's doing Quiet Coyote to what? Get the fans to be quiet? Makes no sense. The other thing, of course, is regarding that upside-down cross, which is, again, a sacrilegious symbol. TMZ published a report where it was cropped. The image was cropped to make it look more like a Greek cross than the inverted cross that it is. Snopes initially dismissed it as a conspiracy theory, but later had to publish an update after even Snopes' own readers, the people who believe the left-wing slant on Snopes, said, no, that really was an inverted cross. I mean, when you see it up close, that is not a Greek cross. That is an inverted cross. Again, being worn by a lady dressed in black, doing something with her hands that looks an awful lot like devil's horns. Again, not a surprise to see that kind of imagery. We've kind of become used to. We expect it now, especially during the halftime programs, but seeing the corporate media responding, defending this. No, nothing to see here. Move along, citizen. It's eye-opening. If you're watching this program, understand, you are behind enemy lines. And our mission is to hold our ground and pull the wounded behind our lines and minister to them until the cavalry arrives. And that will be in the clouds in great glory. Countering the darkness. Boy, if there ever was a time for this virtual conference, it is now. Skywatch TV's next virtual conference launches next Thursday, the 29th. Don't want to miss this one, because besides 24 cutting-edge presenters, you've got the final presentation of Dr. Tom Horn, recorded last fall before he became ill, and we are honored to present it, honored to be a part of this. My presentation called Molech, or Hamas, Molech, and Armageddon. Sharon's presentation titled Opening the Gates of Hell. These are the days in which we live. But as our good friend Pastor Carl Gallups, one of the speakers of this conference, has said, there is never a day when the Lord slaps himself on the forehead and says, I didn't see that coming. He's got it under control. Why do the nations rage and imagine a vain thing? Just remember, he who sits in the heavens laughs, he holds them in derision. Countering the darkness, 24 cutting-edge presentations plus 6 feature-length documentaries from Skywatch Films. Educate yourself. Take advantage of it at defenderconference.com, defenderconference.com. We're talking about portals this week. Rabbi Zev Porat, his new book called Blood Alliance. What is a portal? What is a threshold covenant? How does it relate to travel to the third heaven? Don't miss the program. Zev Porat, Carl Gallups, our guests this week. Sharon and I, honored to be on the panel, along with Joe Artis Horn, the host of Skywatch TV. The broadcast is available for you to watch right now at our website, skywatchtv.com. You can also watch it right now on our network affiliates. The broadcast schedule posted skywatchtv.com/channels. It's available right now at Roku and Apple TV as well. You can also see it right now at our YouTube channel, the YouTube channel for the main program at Skywatch TV Now, rumble.com/Skywatch TV, and of course our mobile app, which is a way to bypass the gatekeepers of big tech. The ones who try to shadow ban us can't be canceled from our own app. Download it for iOS, Android, Amazon Kindle Fire phones and tablets, many other features on that app as well. Again, it's absolutely free, and we have links to those app stores at skywatchtv.com. Thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.